I build a lot of software, mobile applications, desktop applications, SaaS products, tools, you name it. And I've been thinking, instead of building these products and letting them rot on my repository, what if I built them publicly, took you guys through the entire process, then auctioned it? You could literally see a product turn from this into a finished business. And when it's done, somebody watching this series could own that business. But there is only one problem. The marketplace that I need to auction these products doesn't exist. So I'll build it first. If you've followed what I do for a while, you know I like building things. Sometimes it's a website, sometimes it's a mobile application, and sometimes I just see a problem and think, wait, I could build something for that problem. But there's something I've started realizing. Building a software and running a software company are two totally different things. I might enjoy spending weeks figuring out how something should work, design it, build the backend, build the application, and finally get it online. But that doesn't mean that I want to run that project for the next 5 years. So I've been wondering, what if building the product became the business? Instead of creating one company and spending years running it, what if I build interesting software products and sell the finished ones? That's the experiment. I'll start with an idea, we'll figure out if it's actually worth building, I'll design it, I'll show you guys the architecture, we'll build it, we'll deal with all the bugs and all the bad decisions that I'll inevitably make in this project, we'll put it online, and then we will auction it. The domain name, the brand, the source code, the documentation, and the application, whatever belongs to this project, if you bid on it in the end and win the auction, you will get it all. Now, I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work. Maybe we spend weeks building and nobody bids. Maybe someone offers us $50 for something that took me 1 month to build. Or maybe we build something that people genuinely want and this auction gets competitive. I don't know. And I don't want to know before we start. That is what this series is about. And that is what I want this series to find out. But I don't want this to be a series where you just watch me type code all day, all night. I'll need you at every important stage to help me make important decisions. Like when we have two designs, I'll show you both and you will help me decide on which design to go with. When I'm unsure about a feature, I'll ask, and when we need to name something, you can suggest the names that we can use for that feature. And if you think something I'm building makes absolutely no sense, tell me about it before I spend 3-4 weeks building it. Some of the suggestions that you make will end up in the finished products, which means that the person who eventually buys any of these products won't just be buying something that I have built, they will be buying something that we helped bring to life together. And when I say whoever wins the auction gets the software, I don't mean I will email you a zip code of some random code. If you win an auction, you will get a complete source code of the project, you will get a domain name, you will get branding, you will get database and backend, you will get the deployed application documentation, you will get the setup instructions, design and marketing assets, and depending on the project, maybe users, traffic, and revenue if it ever gets that far. There are a lot of things that I haven't figured out yet. For example, how do we stop fake bids? Should bidders pay refundable deposits? Should auctions have reserve prices? How do we safely transfer a domain and the source code? How do we verify revenue if a project is already making money? What happens if someone wins and refuses to pay? Should payments go through an escrow? And eventually, should other developers be allowed to sell their products on this auction site too? I don't have answers to all of that yet. We are going to figure all these things out as we build. But here is a fairly obvious problem with this entire idea. If I'm going to auction the software as I build, I need a place to auction them. Which means the first project in this series isn't a rental app, it is not a website, and it is not a mobile application. It is an auction site for softwares. I'm starting with V1, which just means the first version of the software that can actually do the job. I will not build anything yet, and this is deliberate because I just want to prove that I can list a project on this auction site and people can actually bid successfully and buy these projects. Let's keep this ridiculously simple. For our V1 scope, V1 scope. For V1 scope, we will need users. We need projects. We need auction. We need bids. Countdown. We need watch list. We need notifications. We need winner. And we need an admin. Now I could immediately make this thing complicated by adding things like seller dashboard, seller verification, seller subscription, affiliate programs, or even advanced escrow. But there is a problem, we don't have any sellers yet, at least not initially. So what we will do, we will not build seller dashboard, we will not build seller verification, we will not build seller sub, we will not build any affiliate program, and we will not build an advanced escrow. If this works, we can build the marketplace for other developers later on. Right now, I only need enough infrastructure to auction my own projects, and that is it. In short, I will not be building imaginary features for imaginary users, because that is not what this project is about. This is probably the core object of this entire website. You see the build, you see how much people are currently willing to pay for it, you see how much time is left until the auction ends, and you can go inside and see everything that the auction comes with. But I also want these project pages to come with something unusual. I want them to come with the story of the development of that software. That is why we will also include the videos for the build process of each software that we build. For example, in episode 1 we will have the idea, in episode 2 we will have the design process, in episode 3 we will choose an architecture for the project, in episode 4 we will build the project, in episode 5 we launch it, and in episode 6 it goes out for auction. All that will be documented and will be posted on the project pages. So even if you don't watch the entire process of coming up with that software, you can definitely go back and watch from the ideation stage all through to the auction stage. What this helps you with as a buyer is you get to learn about the decision processes of the developer. You get to see the problems that they came across and how these problems were resolved. You get to see the technologies that were used in the application that you intend to buy, and you can even see some of the mistakes that they made that need to be rectified. This gives you something that's normally very difficult to get when buying somebody else's softwares. Now you've got an idea, which is to build an auction site. We've also come up with the V1 scope, which are the requirements that we'll need to bring this idea to life, and we've also got a very ugly design that we need to turn into a marketplace. But before I begin building, I need to decide something that could completely change what we are going to build. What are we actually selling? Are we selling finished SaaS products? Are we selling mobile applications? Are we selling desktop applications? Are we selling revenue generating businesses, or are we selling all of them? We need to decide decide so as to not end up building features that we don't need for this particular project. One last thing, I want your opinion on something. Should this marketplace eventually allow other developers to submit their projects for auction, or should projects only be allowed on this marketplace if they have been built publicly and documented like I'm doing right now on this video?